And welcome everyone to another episode of Web3 Weekly. I'm your host, Nick, and tonight we are hunting for profits with MirrorGains. And tonight's guest is a friend, a builder, and a founder. You may know him around the space as Godlysan. I know him as Stefan. Tonight, without further ado, let's dive into it with Stefan Godlysan.
GM Nick, how's it going?
Yeah, good, man. Thanks again. It's a pleasure having you on here finally. We've been talking for quite a while. We have some mutual friends in the podcast space. We have some mutual friends in previous projects, and it's just been so cool to finally be able to do this together, man. So, yeah, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for hosting me. And it's good. It's actually good feeling. We've been working in stealth, like bootstrapping for a while now, and getting out like right on time as we release our closed beta and be on your show is very, very welcomed by our team and by myself, obviously.
Nice.
So yeah, like excited to go through your questions and the community's questions if they have any, and then hopefully we can build some traction around the thing we built.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything people in Web3 like, it's profits, and they're not as easy to come by as they might have been in the past. So I'm really excited to hear a little bit more about what you have built. Before we dive into MirrorGains, I was wondering perhaps if you could paint a little picture of yourself, your background, your journey, and then maybe just as an icebreaker, let everybody know what's the first crypto you ever bought.
Cool. Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, I actually have a quite typical Web3 CV in my kind of footprint, as I started off with a bachelor in Switzerland, where I'm natively from, in mechanical engineering. And while I was studying that, like work and study, I got to know a friend in a module of the school who was bootstrapping his agency, and I couldn't even like believe to fit in, but we hanged out and he was nagging on me like all the times, like, I don't want to hire people, but I need, like more resources, more capacities to lift this from the ground. And one day I just told, like, if you tell me this again, like I will quit my job and just join. Like I have no clue about IT, but like you gotta teach me. You're my mentor. And he said, okay, let's do it. So next day I actually went to quit my job. I told everyone, it's like, okay, I'm gonna start as an entrepreneur. And it's like, I didn't even know what this is. Honestly. And
Nice.
yeah, that was kind of the beginning of my journey, like this, like 10 years ago. And we bootstrapped this agency from kind of branding and websites up to apps. And then blockchain came around the corner from kind of two avenues, like friends starting to invest in ICOs in 2016, 2017, seeing like nice returns, but then also myself, without having proper IT background, I saw the opportunity that blockchain is just a space which is super collaborative, giving a lot of opportunity to maybe non-educated or self-taught people. So I jumped fully into the rabbit hole, started, like playing the game. I hired a Solidity dev. With him, we concept a lot of like innovative things. Like back in those days, I was quite green. I didn't know how to execute, but we actually had some like significant R&D going, like with side chains and oracles, and nowadays like they're called Chainlink, and you have like layer 2s everywhere. But back in the days, this was super new. In the end, we didn't execute like on it, but it was like giving me a lot of perspective to what the technology can do. And then I started actually with my own product startup, which was like on-chain betting with friends, which was like basically through the bear market, 2018, a bit kind of harnished, and I pivoted to VC. So a bit of kind of off-chain phase where I met my new mentor, and with this new mentor, full-blood entrepreneur, I built and bootstrapped a venture builder in Switzerland, and this gave me a lot of experience how to execute 0 to 1 and scale ups. And like after 5 years of being kind of non-stop building startups, Web 2 and Web 3, I went last year and decided to go on my own journey again and apply what I learned. And here we come. MirrorGains is kind of the new baby I focus on. And it's super exciting to basically see how you evolve from the first startup to kind of the 20th. And things are a bit different. You have better network, better understanding. So yeah, quite excited.
That's amazing. Yeah, let's go. MirrorGains is a bribe. So I imagine then you've seen a lot of change in the space, right? I mean, I imagine being as early as you were when you got in and you started doing startups and building and tinkering, even before perhaps like DeFi names and layer 2 jargon was around. I imagine that you saw a very different space, maybe not as many memes or meme coins in that manner.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it has been different a lot, but also kind of the same. So like when I started, I was not an OG, right? I started like beginning of 2017, and we thought we're late, like we thought like, is it still worth to get in? Like adoption is around the corner, and now adoption still didn't happen, and it's still early as it seems. So like certain things don't change or didn't change as much as maybe we expected. But it was probably a bit more linear, like less complex. The whole ecosystems were kind of easier to overview and oversee and to digest as a kind of private investor as well, like where to put your kind of eggs in which basket, despite also a lot of things failed back then. But nowadays it's just crazy, like I personally couldn't know how to start in this today's market without prior experience. Like you need a lot of balls or maybe just luck to actually find the right avenues. And that's also a reason why we started MirrorGains. We can get into it in a bit. I actually didn't tell what was my kind of first currency. Like obviously it was ETH back in the day, because ETH was the access to all the other ICOs. But I was super lucky. Like back in this time, we've been scouting really well. And so I was like early in the idea of Tron, Chainlink, couple superstars. Like not all of the investments I did were superstars, but yeah, like this was really exciting times.
Nice. Yeah, sounds exciting. I thought I was early, but I definitely was not. I bought the top in 2017, so I came shortly after you. And I remember my first. I bought it through Coinbase. There was only 3 coins on at the time, and it was Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. And for whatever reason, I decided to buy the top of Litecoin right before Charlie Lee sold all his bags on me and dumped on me. But yeah, lots of change. I agree with you what you said. Like it does seem like it takes balls and or a lot of luck to get started. But I think what you are providing, and even what MirrorGains is providing, as an educational platform that does live events, that does this kind of weekly educational info sessions. I think the fact that the tools and the community and the resources are starting to kind of consolidate and allow people to have a little bit more of I don't want to say an edge, but have a little bit more accessibility and an ability to get more quality information, which brings me kind of back to MirrorGains, right? Like, and also meme coins, because that tends to be the narrative now, right? For at least for an onboarding tool for new users. You wouldn't expect it, but memes are actually quite good for mass adoption. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that would have been the thing that gets most eyes on people? But why meme coins then? In your case, and is there a perspective beyond the meme coin market for MirrorGains?
I think obviously it's a starting niche, and it's not MirrorGains as a mechanic is not stopping at meme coins, but I think it's important to understand why meme coins even are a thing. And it's not just because we had 100x, 1000x opportunities in the past on utility tokens, right? Because the focus was there. So it's not the gains really which are different. But I think people were just fed up on how the markets was turning circles, and the retail has always been exit liquidity for a few players in the market. Having vesting or not vesting, it didn't really matter. The VCs were just dumping on the retail. So the meme kind of scene is maybe a movement to get lost off the shackles of these past dynamics, and just gives more power to single retailer. You're instantly liquid, you can control your game. There are new rules. which need to make you kind of a bit insider or understanding how to sell as well, which is something we tackle. But definitely it seems more fair, despite, like, if you look at the market, and that's what we realized, and why we actually came into building MirrorGains, is still 99% of the people lose. Like, they go to a market, they're overwhelmed with so many launches, so many different KPIs and fake news, like KOLs taking advantage, or other players in the market, cabals taking advantage, which are hard to stop. And even for us, like, it's not the aim to actually control this, because this is just how the market works. But to give a bit more guidance in this kind of Red Sea, where like every mistake or just wrong step gets penalized brutally with like a full liquidation, is where we want to kind of come in and kind of try to also humanize the space and bring back kind of accountability to leaders who want to do good to their followers and want to educate, like similar to you, like give guidance in a different way in the space of trading, like to actually be able to prove, hey, look, my profile is valid. I've been doing good with my followers, not only myself, but with my followers for the last 30 days, 1 year. So join this squad, join this group, and you will also be starting to make gains yourself. So that's kind of the backstory of how we came to build this platform. So yeah, maybe like going into kind of a bit the elevator pitch, it is actually here, like what we're trying to do is solving the problem of all the newcomers, but also a bit more experienced people in the market who maybe don't have time to follow GMGN 16 hours a day and trade on Bullx, to have a space where they can actually access lead signals of players who do spend the time, who have the insights and understand how to filter, to get kind of buy and sell signals, to make successful trades and be guided throughout the whole process. And meme coins is basically the starting niche for us, because most retailers join because of the high gains. They want to get more independent from the traditional systems, from a 9-to-5 job, and you start this on the kind of hottest narrative, which is meme coins at the moment. But yeah, MirrorGains doesn't stop there. Like, we enable leaders to share calls, like from wherever token they want to do. At the moment, we're on base as a bit of a less toxic environment than Solana, but obviously the king of the hill is on our roadmap, so we're gonna deploy natively on Solana anytime soon as well, once we go to the public version, to really enable everyone to be fully free on where to trade and what opportunity is best for them.
Nice. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, so it does sound like you're separating the noise from the signal. You're turning some of that noise into signal for newbies, or for people like myself who could benefit from a tool such as that. I know I've had my fair share of pure chaos with memes, with rugs, hoping to get the 1000x, 100x. I've round tripped many times, and meaning like I probably could have benefited from that social influence that MirrorGames seems to be kind of founded around, because it's not easy to do this by yourself, especially when things are rapidly evolving. Like you said, the game's changed a little bit, things move at a faster pace, and you don't want to be X liquidity for somebody else. You want to kind of know when to get out, and that's always been an issue for me personally, but I imagine other people out there listening have also had that trouble in turning, like, when to buy, when to sell. So that's very neat to hear about that. It's also neat to hear a little bit about how, like, you're blending this aspect of trading, which in the past people used to think about it as like a P versus P, like a player versus player kind of thing. But you're blending it with social influence, and you're helping people make those educated choices a bit more as a communal thing. It sounds genius. It also sounds like you could easily see how, if you don't have something like this, you could lean into the degeneracy side of it, where you're ending up like in an echo chamber, stuff like that.
The market is already rigid, right? Like, there are cabals, there are groups who do these plays together. So we don't want to change their model. We just want to give leaders an opportunity to actually compete in a more transparent way. and lets other people be part of their upside. That say, hey, look, this is my call. It strengthens the call, right? Like it increases their power, their lever in the market if they build a nice profile. And building a nice profile is not by using the community who follows us exit liquidity, by winning together. And that's, I think, the unique difference we also bring into the market, because there are a lot of copy trading opportunities on different platforms, but they miss out to incentivize the lead signal, right? So everyone can shadow trade on a wallet of an insider, and maybe it even works. You know, I know a lot of people who do so. But like, why should this lead wallet actually provide calls? Like, they try to obscure it, they change wallets, they make it difficult for the platforms to trace where they actually trade. They want to hide, right? Like to understand how to time their signal, or even take it as an exploit opportunity if they understand a lot of people are copy trading them. Whereas we want to give this social platform kind of an X for trading, where you compete on a leaderboard for juicy prizes and say, hey, look, I don't only just like for the fame, but also I can win a Lambo because I made my followers gain 200% last week. And if we achieve this kind of mass momentum, where followers can be insiders alongside the leaders, and the leaders are incentivized on the followers like upside, not only that they push their back, but obviously also be part of kind of the trading fee, then I think we have a very fair opportunity for both sides of the market. And like, these people are then together the insiders, right? There's still going to be a lot of people outside the app who fight against the currents, but you have this critical advantage of getting the calls early and save on your slippage towards kind of the perfect exit point, which is eventually hard to hit as well. But some people know how to sell, and you should follow.
I mean, I've tried everything from time of day patterns to, you know, Asia markets, North America markets. But you don't really have that edge when you're going at it alone. So I do love that. I love that community approach. I love that you're seeking wins. You know, like they often I go back to that P versus P, that player versus player, that zero-sum game. And behind every trade, there's a winner and a loser, right? But I love that at least the emphasis is there on community. The alignment on these incentives is also there for a communal approach. And I think that's how we all grow and mature together. No one's going to make it on their own if you're not looking to educate it, if you're not looking to kind of get out of that echo chamber or those old ways where we kind of know, like you mentioned, it's already a bit rigged against us. So I love this. This is like a grassroots movement with a communal approach. It's got the tech behind it as well. And it seems like users can win together, which is exactly like one of the essences that brought me to the space. Not just the gains, obviously, but the movement itself. And the movement is only going to work, and the whole real evolution of Web3 is only going to be successful if we are not cannibalizing one another and not fragmenting you so much, you know. So I do really appreciate that incentive alignment is there, and that you've kept that into the ethos of MirrorGains.
It's not an easy challenge, because as you say, like, trading needs a loser, right? Like, not everyone can win. Like, where does the money come from? But I think we can bring in a fun dynamic in a space which is like, I was exposed and I have too little time to follow, and I lose mostly because I just forget to sell, you know. I think like it's not fun for me anymore to be exposed to the market at one point, because like you just feel like under leveraged or over leveraged and underpowered. And to bring in this gamification and kind of make it a bit of a social game for followers to find the best hunter, and then also chase good people, you know, like look at their statistic. This person is not powerful anymore. I drop that. I take this new alert from this person. Will bring the balance. And it's still a bit about effort, you know, like being active and scouting, but it's just abstracted on a layer which is feasible for people who are not truly understanding kind of trading dynamics and token dynamics and all these things, but who want to kind of be active in a more natural way where they feel empowered. And the leaders, on the other hand, they they have more fun like playing around with their lever, right, in the market, instead of having the call to your insider alpha Telegram group first, and then leveraging your X community as a next step and going through these onion layers, very cumbersome. We have a streamlined way where you can just activate a lot of volume also for devs to launch new pairs. Like, hey, look, I collaborate with a trade KOL. We call it a KTL, right? A key trade leader. You understand and you can measure the impact. So even marketing for dev teams and for founders to bring power to their new pair or the token they launch will be more transparent and will be kind of more fun, because you can really measure, like, okay, guy, you told us you can bring 1 million of volume, but in fact, like, it was like 10K, right? Like, how can you kind of justify that? So there's a lot of opportunity where we can play around once we went through kind of the initial phases, have a critical mass. Like, besides this, we're talking a lot about, like the exploit issues around sandwich bot trading. Like, obviously there's a lot of things coming up, which we try to kind of tackle with ease and say, hey, look, first of all, the accountability of the leader is key. Like, you want to be good for your followers and build your profile, right? Okay, not take advantage is kind of something visible to your followers, so they will unfollow you if you do. But then also give features and options to trade leaders to say, hey, I want to do kind of a bonding curve trade where I say, like, I give a call and the first 50 people who match my call will be in the same purchase. So our system can kind of maneuver a lot of these problems with fun gamified options for leaders and followers, which I think will be very exciting to explore in the next months to come, where we launch the application and gain visibility.
Absolutely, I'm excited already, and we got some people in the comments that are already asking questions. We're gonna get to the questions in a bit. Shout out to everyone who's already dropped in the comments. GM, I see you. Thanks, Anne. Thanks, everybody. I wonder, and now, Stefan, if it'd be a good time to even maybe paint an even more visual picture to the users out there. And if you want to walk us through like the deck, that might be a nice opportunity, because I'm already excited, but I think it would be even cooler to dive in and for our users out there to see just how intricate this social influence and trading and technology movement that you're spinning out is actually going to impact everybody. So if you're more than welcome to share your screen if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe like, because the deck is kind of a bit more like overarching the case, I think it's probably a good opportunity for your audience to get a sneak peek into kind of the upcoming release. As I said, we have a closed beta launch, so everyone who believes to be a trade leader, who has a followership or its own alpha group, or maybe wants to become one, feel free to reach out to me in a DM in Telegram at Godlysan. To get an access code to test early. We obviously want to be iterating very close to the market, but I give you a sneak peek into kind of the upcoming release, which will be also more publicly available. Despite we always gonna be invite only, like, this is an exclusive circle we want to build. So yeah, we need to make sure that it's gated the right way. But just to kind of lead you through a bit kind of some screens. Once you have actually an invite code, you can start this Telegram mini app and choose your name, gear up for the hunt by actually, like, creating a wallet, load it up, and then you have your kind of base dashboard, which is obviously already kind of implying that you should build your own squad, like build your hunter pool, invite people to your squad, gain strength in the market, gain influence. But then also you can create the alpha for other hunters on the platform, which are actually hunting on your side. So we're not an analytics platform, right? There is GMGN, there's Bullx, there's a lot of different ways where you can understand what tokens are hot and gonna be hot. So and once you have the token contract address, you can basically ape in a casino style through our app, understand, like, is it new alpha or are other people already in it? And then basically after you purchased get into the most significant action we streamline. So you want to chill it or you want to just chill. So if you want to chill, you can choose like what group. We can obviously kind of make these hierarchies also more, you know, like detailed, but in the end it's about your kind of reach, your next level of followers, your friends you want to share the signal with. So now CryptoMan share this. If you are following CryptoMan, you receive the signal, hey, this guy just bought this token, you want to tap in as well. Other people are joining. How old is the signal? Okay, I want to tap in. And then if you don't have followers, you have nothing to shill, but otherwise you can go through kind of the next layers and basically, you know, like take these waves through the market. And then obviously, like what is important, if someone like cheats his bag as well, you want to get an alert. Like, okay, this guy sold, let me sell as well. Like that was the ROI he achieved. Like you currently have like that much value in your bag. Just hedge yourself, like sell a bit, maybe a portion, and then you can wait again or cheat it all, and then view the details. Like what have other people been doing? Like how have you been mirrored? You know, like to just round up kind of this gamified aspect.
Oh, I love it. It's great.
Yeah, so like if you miss like being online, you obviously also get kind of the buy alerts streamlined that you can maybe opt in a bit later, and get kind of the understanding on when and how many people. Is it late already? Do I have too much slippage? Yes or no, whatsoever. And then like building your network, obviously like search for other players in the app, but not only search other players in the app, but also maybe you want to add an external wallet. This is a service alone. Like people pay like $200 subscription monthly to get timely alerts of wallet activities. We give it for free to everyone who's using the app, just because like it's not our revenue model, right? So we want to add value to people becoming trade leaders. So if you have insider wallets, like add them to your profile and you're gonna be a trade leader, just sharing the calls you get from these external wallets to your community. So people can follow you, they can mirror trade you, and you obviously analyze on every call, like, okay, what's their actual performance? Like, have they been good for their followers? Like, what's the follower PNL? What's their PNL? Like, do they have top alpha signals or not? What's their best moves? And obviously verify them through X to be real, right? And not allowing people to actually, you know, like take advantage of using other names. Last but not least, having a leaderboard, which again kind of is a control aspect for the trade leaders to actually play together with their followers. Like, okay, you want to win your follower P&L category because there the prize pool has whatever in there, and actually, you know, win together and rather than be alone.
Nice.
Yeah, last but not least, obviously you have your kind of own settings, you know, like to control your game, which is gonna be more complex. Your wallet, where you can kind of get access to your seed phrases, so you're dependent on us, but also to your rewards. If you refer, if they trade, you win rewards. If you give calls, they trade, you win rewards. If you give and initiate an alpha branch, you receive from the full alpha branch the reward again in Mirror to claim it, and then actually go to the staking. Yeah, so like going through kind of the last bits, we're also having a staking which will kind of fuel our token economy. So if you're a hunter, you can reduce your fee to basically zero if you're a top staker, and you can increase your reward structure. So if you actually have some Mirror, we're having kind of a non-VC token. We're not accepting VC money, so we're just getting small allocations from real traders, from people in the space who want to become key trade leaders in a pre-sale, and then going through an IDO before TGE. So if you actually obtain kind of the needed Mirror, you can use this venue fully free forever, right? So that's kind of the idea behind, also to incentivize the trade leaders not to use another venue. So yeah, this is kind of a bit the sneak peek story around our game. I'm super excited to finally have like a version which is playable, and now it's about to bring the first users to actually start this kind of dynamics, share calls with each other, and do good and do better than the average market. I think it's all about doing better than the average.
Let's go. And everybody could use an edge. So do if you're listening out there, do exactly what Stefan said. Like shoot him a DM on Telegram, and we can get this referral and exclusive access going. And cheers for the alpha. That was really cool. It got me very excited. That's exactly what I'm gonna do once the stream is over. I'm gonna hit you up. I have a lot more questions to get to because like not only is your roadmap ambitious, but the vision itself is ambitious in general. But I want to take a quick break. And when we come back, I got a few more questions to hit you up with. And then I know we got some community questions that are coming through. We'll be right back with Godlysan and MirrorGains. So do stay tuned. Thanks.
Seeing the numbers right now, I'm so happy. I think you guys have 1,400 registered participants.
In the blockchain space, there's so much opportunities for people to bring their ideas.
So kung meron kang pera and you want to be wealthy in your lifetime, kailangan mo mag-zero in dun sa mga new technology. Us as traders, no, as forever students of the market, kailangan tayo renegable.
Why are we into Bitcoin? It's because we genuinely believe that humanity needs a better form of money that is not dollars or pesos or any of these things. We want money that we can actually hold on to, and this will be our life savings, and it will maintain its value against the things we want.
All right, thanks for that. We are back after that little short break. And for those who have just tuned in, we're with Stefan, better known throughout the Web3 spaces, Godlysan, and we are talking MirrorGains. And we just got a nice little sneak peek, a little bit of alpha through what is actually been cooking up in the background. And I wanted to kick off with a question, and then I wanted to throw it over to Anne, who's been waiting patiently about a question and a response from earlier in the podcast. So I guess my first question is just to kind of double back and talk a little bit more about how ambitious this project is, and how not only is your roadmap ambitious, but like the fact that like this is all grounded in good intentions. It makes me kind of understand a little bit more about why you decided to start it. But essentially, you're kind of merging a lot of really good things together. Dare I say, disrupting the traditional sense of how people bought and sold. And I guess as you navigate this moving forward, what might be your biggest challenge that you think in terms of scaling this model, in making sure that your execution goes smoothly?
Yeah, I think this falls back a bit to, like general understanding on how to execute in startups. And the key solver is like bringing the right people around you, because you cannot solve it all yourself. So that's kind of my intention, like throughout kind of MirrorGains now as a strategist. Like I want to collaborate with valuable parties. We want to fit into the ecosystem like a glue, rather than taking it over all on our own shoulders. Like we could be building AI signal analytics, we could be building DEX aggregation to make the product more powerful, and many other things like this. But why not partner? Like there are teams out there, they already solve these things. We could build analytics tools like GMGN, Bolex, but we can't compete with everyone, right? So we want to be the social glue in between, to just focus on the user experience, bring this gamified dynamic into the trade market, and let the users keep on using their tools. We're complementary. We have a huge partner opportunity, for example, with on the base ecosystem where we start. We partner with AI Rocket. They do alpha signaling with AI. Like, okay, let them streamline their calls, like leverage their brand, get some upside from trading fees alongside us, right? Like we're here to share, and the users will profit because they get a better, like variety of calls, not only by humans, by leaders, but also by companies using AI. We were working with Starbase on Base to actually minimize the slippage and the fees for the users working through our app. Like we are not building the DEX aggregation ourselves. So this reduces a lot of complexity in our execution strategy, and we can really focus on like tackling the exploit issues, which are probably the biggest challenge, right? Like there's a lot of people out there who have malicious goals taking advantage. So we need to make sure that we can invest our resources to, first of all, make the user experience super nice and lean for users to actually have fun and be profitable, but then also like minimize exploits by other parties in the markets, be it external or internal to the platform, or maybe even hybrid, right? Like who says that a trade leader on MirrorGains has not a shadow wallet where he trades against his kind of leader role? So these things to find out with machine learning and AI to kind of make the trading more safe is probably the biggest challenge, next to just lifting it off the ground. Like obviously these initial obstacles to get trade leaders in, to get kind of a critical mass going, that the whole game also starts to be fun and be very active. So these are kind of the most thoughts we spend on. And then obviously like in the long term, there is a lot of different kind of avenues which we could strive, doing joint ventures or integrations or takeovers to just make the ecosystem bigger and larger, like down to even going off kind of meme coin to blue chip trading, sex trading, or integrating launchpads. There's so many kind of ideas which can come alongside, but keeping it simple is kind of a challenge as well, I think. Purely in entrepreneurship, so we try not to distract ourselves and really deliver the base UX and make this fun and find product.
That's the main point, right? Keeping it simple, keeping it user friendly, keeping it agile enough. But I love the perspective that you have, where it's complementary, right? You're looking to build together and build upon, not looking to go against anything or to compete, right? There's too much of the same stuff out there, right? So it's very refreshing to hear something and someone who sees the benefit of building on top of previously good foundations and things that have come in the past, right? I think that also shows like just how like your testament of time, like through different cycles, right? There are some things that stay and remain through different cycles. There are other things that get left behind. One thing that stuck around, or I would say, sorry, one thing that is definitely here this cycle is AI, and you've mentioned it a little bit, right? I'm curious to get your thoughts on like AI agents and perhaps like how you see how MirrorGains can, how do you see MirrorGains fitting into this current market of AI agents? Stuff like that, like you kind of alluded to.
It's obviously in everyone's like thought and mouth at the moment to play around with AI agents. I see tremendous value for certain elements, like it's also it's a bit scary because it's a very much of a black box. So how much of your wealth you really trust on like unknown agent who does his things. We are maybe a bit of a counter movement towards these trustless entities, because we want to bring in this human factor and make it game and fun and engaging to spend time with, and not be better take it away from me. Hopefully you make profits, but I don't want to touch it because it's not fun. We want to bring back the fun and actually say, hey, touch it. Like, it can be cool. Like, even maybe not every time you're profitable, but you still have fun. It's kind of, okay, you spend also for entertainment, right? And then obviously, like, AI is a big thing. Like, the future doesn't work without AI in startups. Like, you need to consider these abilities. We see it more as an enabler to protect. So we want to detect potential rocks. We want to alert early on like strange wallet behavior within tokens followers bought. We want to assess trade leaders in a more thorough way with AI to give indications, give token scorings, wallet scorings, and tools to the users to actually have better insights, rather than taking away their autonomy from acting in the market.
That's right. And I think like that human-centered aspect is important, right? Because not only does it allow the users and participants of your app, right, of MirrorGains, it allows them to build credibility, but it also keeps it authentic. I think you hit the nail on the head when you talked about the black box of AI agents and AI in general, because we're still very early in that. And as we see with different countries or different projects launching their own agents, we don't necessarily know how that data set has been scraped or implemented, and we don't really know how subjective or biased some of those things are. But you can, through this socialify movement as well, you can rely on your friends. You can vet them. You can check the real people. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what we're doing already in X and in Telegram. But like you mentioned, it's cumbersome. So I think there is still that merit for having that human-to-human connection. I have mates in parts of the world, and if they've aped into something, that's enough of vetting and research for me, right? And the fact that you're bringing that together in a platform that is user-friendly and multifunctional, that alone is a really good point of difference, rather than following a bot or just following another influencer. Because we're seeing even AI agents become KOLs, and that, for better or worse, right? There's pros and cons to both of that, but you still don't really necessarily have that longevity of credibility that you may have with people that you trust or people that are doing the same thing with you. There's a bit more commitment when everyone is in there together, acting in the same goodwill.
Yeah, and like the market has enough space for both type of solutions. Like I'm not against like autonomous automated solutions which help you kind of spend less time, but I think there's a huge amount of people out there who want to be closely engaged. They're seeking the excitement. Like, it's exciting meme coin trading, but if you lose all the time, it's not so exciting anymore.
Yeah,
right? So I think like we really want to be perceived a bit more also kind of as an entertainer, and not only kind of break it down to pure incremental profits. Whereas if you look for that, you're probably very good in a quant trading like fund or agent which takes their care like 24/7 of your portfolio. So I think for every user there is a solution, and we think that there is a lot of demand for this fun factor and kind of your own autonomous kind of response and applying your skills to seek for the best signal giver. And that's like all it's supposed to be, like we don't want to make ourselves also better than we are. Like, in the end, like, people will lose money on MirrorGains as well, and they hopefully will win more, but it's also like like if we spend time with friends and we play, I don't know, like
poker,
poker maybe is also kind of a game you want to win money for, but maybe you go paintballing or you go karting, you also spend a bit of money for doing this because it's fun. So this is kind of a bit of a mix of MirrorGains. It's not only a trading platform, but it's also a place where you're having fun with friends.
I love that. Thank you. That's a wonderful explanation. And thank you for everybody that's been patient in the comments too. I see you on there. And we want to get to your question. It's coming from the very first. So we're from the very first thing that Stefan mentioned. Anne had a question about what happened after you quit your first job. So we're doubling back and we're zooming out a little bit here. Anne asked, did you find it profitable at first after you quit your first job? And I will probably preference this by saying it's not financial advice to just quit your job and YOLO into something. But I'd love to hear your response to this.
Yeah, no, it's obviously, you know, a key question. And I think it's a type of question you stop to ask once you are kind of getting a bit more experience. Like when I remember when I started out, like I met kind of my first mentors, angel investors, and I remember one guy telling me, like, when I'm broke, I don't stop spending money. I still go to luxury resorts. I still go to luxury treats in restaurants. And I was like, how can he do this? You know, like you just said you're broke. Yeah. But in the end, this is kind of the mind switch which happens over the years while you're exposed to the risk and the rewards, that, you know, like life is about kind of being in this energetic vibration of, okay, it will be fun, it will go fairly. I need to be there to get experience, and I will also pull money towards me. So what is profitable in the end is kind of a bit of a hard statement. Like financially profitable, probably at first it isn't, because you leave stability behind. But not having kind of this limitation on the upside. Suddenly you maybe have a month where you earn like a yearly paycheck, and then you have a buffer, and then maybe you don't earn for 3 months. But you remark that it's kind of more in your responsibility to take care, and you have more flexibility to maneuver your life. So I think it's very important, if you want to go on this journey of entrepreneurship, that you don't just look at finance, and because it's two incomparable shoes.
That's right.
So I learned like hardly that you shouldn't run after money. Money follows value. So if you create value, the capital will follow as well. That's kind of the basis of everything.
I love that. Yeah. And that's it, right? That's also why they say like your network is your net worth. And here you have an opportunity to even leverage that network into MirrorGains, which is another layer of leverage in general. I think also in terms of profitability, thinking about just how long you've been in the space, and even myself, I can say that the knowledge profit, by P&L for knowledge is definitely on the upside. You know, I mean, for every mistake that I might have made financially, I've learned and grown and stuck around in the space. And I agree with you, man. I think that stuff comes. The money comes when you're passionate, when you're zoomed in on something, when you're building, when you're trying to add value to people. And that's exactly what we're trying to do every week here at MirrorGains. So shout out to Anne for the good question, and everybody listening. Joel, I see you. Thanks, man. And you know, like, I'd love to find ways that we can continue to keep this conversation going on even after the recording's over. So Dex, if you don't mind, if we could pull up some socials to see where we can find Godlysan, and where we could have our users out there connect with him, whether it's through a DM on X or the Telegram, like he said. I'd love to get everybody out there listening, you know, a chance to experiment with these types of tools, because they are fun and they are educational, they are informative. So yeah, I really think it's something that is needed for this space, so that we can also still keep that balance in mind of levity and excitement, and not necessarily just focus on some of the negative sides of things, or strictly the financial gains itself.
Yeah, you know, we're always in for the gains, right?
Yeah.
But ROI shouldn't be everything, you know. Like, if you, like, a lot of people, you know, end up in a bit of a mental crisis because they're chasing too much, and typically what you chase runs away faster. So maybe if you stop chasing and just, you know, like, be more humble, your wishes, and even wishes which you never thought to come true, sometimes sit around the corner and you run past it, you know. So
Yeah.
I think, you know, like pacing it right and understanding that sometimes like going slow brings more velocity are other key learnings, you know. Like there's so many things we could talk about in terms of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was super exciting to showcase to you, and yeah, you're the first community actually who get these alpha insights. So
That's dope.
yeah, make something out of it. I
Yeah.
hope we can see you also as active users in the upcoming releases, and yeah, super exciting to see how you strive and how you build up your momentum.
Thank you. And I wish I had that. I wish I had that advice back in 2017 in terms of not chasing things. But I'm really happy that we have it now. And I'm very much looking forward to experimenting with MirrorGains myself. I will be hitting you up in the DMs right after this. Full disclosure, I'm excited. I could definitely benefit from it. And yeah, everyone out there, reach out to me, reach out to Stefan. You know where to find him on X now. You know, you can just look at his name right there. That's his handle on Telegram. And maybe we can do this again in the near future. I know you're busy. I know you're building. I know you got a big launch up ahead, but keep us in the loop. I'd love to know how it's going. And we're here rooting for you all the way through. So thank you so much, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it very much. It was exciting to speaking to you. And yeah, I hope the weather is fine over there. Here in Switzerland, it's still a bit winter vibes, but soon the spring comes along. So yeah, exciting times ahead for sure.
Nice one. Well, GM, for the rest of your day. It's evening over here. I'm about to head off to bed. Shout out to everybody in the back end, Jonathan, Dex, Rachel, everyone who's making this happen in the production side of things. We really appreciate you all. And we will see you again next week, everybody. Do reach out to me, reach out to Stefan. If you have any questions, you can keep them coming after the show. Drop them in the comments. We'll be around to answer them. But again, very grateful to have this experience. Thanks for the alpha and the sneak peek. Looking forward to seeing what comes next.
Thanks,
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye-bye.